Hi students, I'm Abhishek from Vidyaguru, and in today's session we are going to learn some shortcuts and tricks. These shortcuts and tricks will help us improve our calculation speed. They are going to be really time saving in the exam. Okay, one request from our side: if you like this session, please press the like button, share the video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And apart from subscribing, press the bell icon as well, because when you press the bell icon, that is when you get the notifications of the videos that we keep shooting, keep uploading. And since you can see that this session is going to be in English medium, it is specifically for those students who are comfortable in watching videos in English language, especially our students from southern India, northeast India, students from Kerala, Telangana, Karnataka, because we have often observed that they are not that well versed in Hindi. That is why we make a special effort to show English medium sessions for them. So without wasting a moment more, let's understand these tricks. The first thing that we are going to learn is the squares. Students, we are going to learn squares and squares of numbers. Students, we are going to learn squares of numbers near 50. That's the first thing we are going to learn. Squares of numbers near 50. So if I am given, students, if I am given 42 and if I have to find out the square of 42, how do I do that? Of course, I understand it is near 50. 50 is the benchmark. 50 is the benchmark and we have 42. So ask yourself, how small is it as compared to 50? It is 8 small. Students, it is 8 small as compared to 50. How small? It is 8 small as compared to 50. So this 8 is an important aspect. Now what you have to do is find out the square, of 42. So how will you go about it? 8 square is 64. 64 will be the last two digits. 64 will be the last two digits. How did we arrive at 64? We first of all found out how less 42 is as compared to 50. Sure, it is 8 less as compared to 50. So 8 square is 64. These turn out to be the last two digits. Now what you need to do is subtract this 8. Students, you need to subtract this 8 from 25. You need to subtract this 8 from 25, and when I do that, I am left with 17. 25 is the benchmark. So from 25 you are going to subtract 8, you will be left with 17. So it turns out to be 1764. Students, it turns out to be 1764. You could have done it mentally. Very, very easily. Now let's look at one more example to strengthen what we have learned. 44 square. How less is it as compared to 50? It is 6 less. It is 6 less as compared to 50. So what you are going to do is find out the square of 6. 6 square is what? 6 square is 36. So 36 turns out to be, students, 36 turns out to be the last two digits. And what? Now this 6 will be subtracted, and what we are left with is 19. What we are left with is 19. So 1936. Students, 1936, that is the square of 44. Sure. Now you may be thinking, why did I give you one more question of this type? Let's see. 49. How less is it as compared to 50? It is 1 less. Students, it is 1 less as compared to 50. What is the square of 1? Students, the square of 1 is 1. The square of 1 is 1. But you require last two digits. So the square of 1, students, the square of 1, which is 1, it will be written as 01. It will be written as 01. We are going to write it as 01. That is the important part. Sure. And now ask yourself, what are you going to do with this 1? This 1 has to be subtracted from what? The benchmark 25. And when I do that, I'm left with 24. So 2401. The important part out here was that while you were writing this one, so it was written as 01. Students, it was written as 01 because you needed the last two digits. That is why it was written as 01. Sure. Now let's look at some numbers. Students, some numbers which are slightly greater than 50, which are somewhat greater than 50, which is 53. One example is 53. Sure. So how much more? How much more is it as compared to 50? Students, it is 3 more as compared to 50. It is 3 more as compared to 50. 3 square is what? 3 square is 9. 3 square is 9, but you require last 2 digits. 3 square is 9, so you will be writing 9 as 09. You will be writing 9 as 09 because you wanted the last 2 digits. Sure? And now students, this 3 is going to be added in 25. Earlier we were subtracting. Now we are going to add this 3 to 25 and it becomes 28. So 2809, that becomes the square of 53. Sure? The square of 56. Now let's find it out. 6. It is 6 greater than 50. Students, it is 6 greater than 50. So straight away, the square of 6 is 36. The square of 6 is 36. And since it is 6 greater than 50, I'm going to add this 6. Students, I'm going to add this 6 to what? The benchmark, which was 25. So 25 and 6, it becomes 31. So 3136. Students, 3136. That is the square of 56. Are you with me? I'm hoping you are getting the concepts. 58 square. Let's take up one more example. The last one related to squares near 50. So 8 square, because I know now that 58 is 8 greater than 50. So 8 square becomes 64. 8 square becomes 64. And now this 8 is going to be added to 25. So 25 and 8, 33. So 3364. 3364. This particular concept was related to squares, related to numbers which are near 50. Now, what if there are some numbers which are near 100? So let's now focus on those squares. Students, let's now focus on those squares which are somewhat near 100. So first up, somewhat less than 100. Somewhat less than 100. The first thing we are discussing is 92 square. So ask yourself, how less is it as compared to 100? It is 8 less as compared to 100. It is 8 less as compared to 100. So the same thing, 8 square will be what? 8 square will be 64. Sure? What am I doing? I am first of all trying to find out how less this number is as compared to 100. So it is 8 less. So now the square of 8 becomes 64. That gives me the last 2 digits. Now what I need to do is subtract this 8. Subtract this 8 from the number itself. What is the number? Students, the number is 92. The number is 92. And now this 8 will be subtracted. This 8 will be subtracted from 92. It will give me 84. 84 becomes the first 2 digits. So the square turns out to be, students, the square turns out to be 8464. The square turns out to be very simple, 8464. All this can be done mentally. Students, all this can be done mentally very, very easily. You need to develop some practice. You need to have some practice. That's it. 94. How less is it as compared to 100? It is 6 less. Students, it is 6 less as compared to 100. Sure? What is the square of this number? The square of 6 is 36. We know that. Sure? So 36 becomes the last 2 digits. Now this 6 will have to be subtracted. This 6 will have to be subtracted from what? This 6 will have to be subtracted from 94. This 6 gets subtracted from 94, and when I do that, I'm left with 88. 8836. Students, I'm left with 8836. That becomes the square. Isn't it simple? All you need to do is, get in to the habit of some practice and you're there. Now let's look at 99. That's an important one. How less is it as compared to 100? We know it is 1 less as compared to 100. It is only 1 less as compared to 100. Sure. What is the square of 1? The square of 1 is only 1. The square of 1 is only 1. But we require last two digits. We require last two digits. So the square of 1, which is 1, will be written as 0, 1. Students, it will be written as 0, 1 because I wanted the last two digits. Sure. That is why I am writing it as 0, 1 and not just 1. Sure. Now this 1, students, now this 1 will be subtracted from the number itself. So 1 gets subtracted and we are left with 98. So 9801. Students, 9801, that turns out to be the answer. Sure. Now you know what category I'm referring to now. 103 square. Look at it. It is a number somewhat greater than 100. Somewhat greater than 100. How big is it as compared to 100? It is 3 more than 100. Students, it is 3 more than 100. Sure. So 3 square is what? 3 square is 9. All of us know that. But I will write it as 09. I will write it as 09 because I wanted the last two digits. Sure. So 3 square is 09. Now this 3, students, now what will happen? This 3 is going to be added. Remember, this 3 is going to be added to the number. This 3 is going to be added to the number. 103 plus 3, that will give you 106. 106. So 10609. 10609, that is the square of 103. Sure. Let's try the square of 106. Now we know it is 6 greater than 100. So the square of 6 is 36. The square of 6 is 36. So 36, the last two digits. Now what I'm going to do is add this 6. I'll add this 6 with 106. Sure. Because this 6 has to be added to the number itself. And when that happens, we get 112. So 112, these are the first 3 digits. The last 2 digits are already there with us. So finally, the square turns out to be 11236. Sure. Now let's look at 108 square. 108 square, how big is it as compared to 100? It is 8. It is 8 more than 100. So students, 8 square is what? Very simple. 8 square is 64. Sure. And now 108 plus 8. 108 plus 8 will give me 116. 116 becomes the first 3 digits. So finally, the answer is 11664. 11664, and you can check all of them. You can check all of them using calculator. Using calculator, the answer is going to be absolutely the same. All it does is, simplify your calculation process. Believe me, the time that it takes is much less. Now, let's look at some special cases. Students, some special squares will now have to be learned. Sure. Most of us are aware as to how to calculate the squares of number ending in 5. So the first concept is square of numbers that end in 5. 65 ends in 5, even 85 ends in 5. The moment that happens, you have to remember the last 2 digits. Students, the last 2 digits will be 25. The last 2 digits will be 25. 5 square is 25. Very simple. 5 square is 25. The last 2 digits will be 25. Then what you need to do is focus on the other digit. Whatever is left apart from 5. Whatever is left apart from 5. We are left with 6. Now 6 will have to be multiplied with the next digit. The next digit to 6 is what? The next digit to 6 is 7. All of us know that. Sure. We have to focus on whatever number is left when we take out 5. So we were left with, very simple, we were left with 6. And the 6 has to be multiplied with the next number. And the next number is 7. So 6 sevens are 42. I'm going to multiply them. 6 sevens are 42. So 42 to 5. So it turns out to be 4225. It is that simple. You can do it. Mentally. Similarly, 85 square. 5 square is what? 5 square is 25. I told you. whenever that happens, whenever you have to find out the square of a number which ends in 5, what you're going to do is straight away write 25 towards the end. Sure? What you are left with is 8. 8 has to be multiplied with the next number. 8 has to be multiplied with the next number. The next number is 9. So 8 9s are 72. Students, 8 9s are 72. So the answer turns out to be 7225. The answer turns out to be 7225. Isn't it interesting? Now I'm going to teach you something even more interesting. Something which works in the exam very well. The second concept. Can you see? Can you look at these numbers? Students, what is special about these numbers? Ask yourself. These numbers 1111 or maybe the other number which has how many ones? It has it has 6 ones. So when you have a number which has all ones, how do you go about finding the square? Let's see. Very simple. Count the number of ones that are there. Count the number of ones that are there. How many ones are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have how many ones? I have 4 ones. So what I need to do is simply write nothing other than that. So let's begin the counting now. How many ones? 4 ones. So very simple. I will count from 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And not just count. I will not just count. I will also write it. Very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure? And now from 4 I will go back to 1. From 4 I will go back to 1. So this 4 will remain as it is. I'm not going to repeat this 4. I'm simply going to go back to, I'm simply going back to 1. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sure? I'm repeating what I've done. I just counted the number of ones. How many ones were there? 4 ones were there. That is why I counted from 1 to 4 and then from 4 to 1. Sure? So now how many ones? Now students, how many ones do I have? I have 6 ones. So I am going to count from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from 6 I will go back to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So forward counting and reverse counting. Forward counting and reverse counting. Nothing doing other than that. Isn't it simple? Very, very, very smart and very, very time saving in the exam. Sure? Now, the last case for today, the last but an important case is what about the squares of numbers? What about the squares of numbers that end in 9? Sure? So what you need to do is think about the number which is greater than 29. All you need to do is think about the number which is greater than 29. So 29 is the reference and the number greater than 29 is 30. Sure? So 1 more than 29. 1 more than 29 is what? 30. 30 square is what? It is very simple, students. 3 square is 9. 3 square is 9. So 30 square will be what? 30 square will be 900. So what I am doing is 30 square minus very simple 29 plus 30. 29 plus 30. That means I am looking at the next number. The next number I am going to have the square of it. So 30 square is what? 30 square is 900. Sure? And I am going to subtract from this number, from this square I am going to subtract what? I am going to subtract the sum. I am going to subtract the sum of the number and the number more than it, and the number which is 1 more than it. So 29 plus 30. 29 plus 30 is what, students? It is 59. So students, 959 will be subtracted from 900. What you're left with is 841. What you're left with is 841. It is that simple. I'm sure most of you have already memorized that 29 square is 841. I was just telling you how to go about it. Sure? Now let's take up one more example. The last one for today. Sure? 49 square. 49 square, what is the next number? The next number is 50. Sure? And now you need to think of 50 square. 50 square, 5 square is 25. So 50 square will be what? students 50 square will be 2500. From this 2500, students, from this 2500, what will I subtract? I will subtract the number 49 and of course I will add 50 to it. Sure? So I'm going to subtract the sum of the number and the next number. The next number is of course 50. So 2500 and I will be subtracting what? I will be subtracting 99 because 50 and 49 will give me 99. So 2500 minus 99 and the answer will be very simple. The answer will be 2401. The answer will be 2401. So students, here I'll be wrapping up today's session. I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed. And now if you want to go and subscribe to our online courses, do that please, because we will be waiting for you to join us so that we can guide you in the best way possible. Thank you so much.